U.S. public diplomacy in general, and in particular, the agency that oversees it, known as the U.S. Agency for Global Media, has become a topic of considerable political controversy in recent months. AFPC Senior Fellow in National Security Affairs, Jim Robbins, has been following the issue closely, so I invited him on to AFPC Insights to get a sense of the current state of America's global messaging and the problems that are currently plaguing it. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Annie, it's great to be here. Can a free press promote a pro-American message? That is the key question being addressed at the U.S. Agency for Global Media. CEO Michael Pack has been shaking up the agency, which oversees government global communications organizations, such as the Voice of America and various regional networks. Trump's critics say Pack's moves are a threat to press freedom and will make US AGM into an administration propaganda megaphone. But is that right? No. Reform has been a long time coming. US AGM is fundamentally different from most media groups. Outlets like VOA do not exist just to report news for the sake of news. We have private sector media for that. Rather, they serve as a critical soft power component of American global strategy. Public information agencies exist to support and promote American values abroad, while also countering adversary messaging that seeks to harm the US image and promote disinformation. This mission focus does not in any way change the necessary rigor with which reporting must be approached, but it does affect editorial choices. Our country hardly needs publicly funded news organizations slamming the United States at every turn. Reporting like that is already plentiful from sources both foreign and domestic. The most important aspect of aligning US AGM with the foreign strategy of the United States is to support American policies while avoiding US partisan politics. During the Cold War, this successful approach had bipartisan backing. VOA, Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, and other agencies gave people in communist countries news and information that was denied them by their governments, offering the kind of pro-freedom, pro-human rights narratives that totalitarian states suppressed. This did not mean presenting the United States as a model society. Famed reporter Edward R. Murrow, who directed the US AGM predecessor US Information Agency during the Kennedy administration, said, "We cannot be effective in telling the American story if we tell it only in superlatives." Murrow actively promoted USIA reporting on the civil rights issues of his day in the context of American social progress to counter the communist focus on racism and rioting. The US AGM mission to provide open information to closed societies is as important now as it was during the Cold War. 1990's optimism that the explosion of internet information technology would naturally expand the zone of freedom has been dashed by authoritarian regimes using the very same technology to create increasingly insidious control mechanisms. Communist China has been a world leader at developing advanced censorship techniques, as well as the freedom-destroying social credit system. The current shakeup at US AGM-sponsored Open Technology Fund, which seeks to expand access to information inside total states, is primarily a dispute about budgets and oversight, not about the pressing need to develop tools to defeat foreign censorship. Everyone knows we need that. Change overall is desperately needed. US AGM and its predecessor, the Broadcasting Board of Governors, has been notoriously dysfunctional and subjected to bipartisan criticism. In 2013, then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton told the House Foreign Affairs Committee that the agency was practically defunct in terms of its capacity to be able to tell a message around the world. Studies show that its employees have long had among the worst morale of any government agency. It has also been subject to periodic charges of waste, fraud, and abuse. Mrs. Clinton also testified that the United States has the best values and the best narrative and needed to get back into the ideological arena. Who could argue with that? There's no contradiction between that statement and promoting press freedom. USAGM can and should establish itself as the gold standard for accuracy and integrity in its reporting. USAGM is free of the market-based pressures that have harmed global journalism, and its reporters are required by law to present fair and balanced news. By maintaining high journalistic standards and avoiding the hyper-partisanship and sensationalism that increasingly dominates the mainstream media, USAGM could serve as an example of what news can be. This might inspire not only foreign journalists, but also media organizations in the United States that are rapidly losing the public trust. Maybe PAC's critics can learn from his efforts. After all, USAGM is not the only American media organization in desperate need of reform.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I will be sure to link your recent article in the podcast and the video so that folks can read it. Talk to you soon.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.